I needed to write about evidence-based mediums, and I chose two who I really trusted. I wrote their biographies, and that convinced me how healing mediumship is when you get that information you couldn't possibly know or find anywhere. So once I started getting irrefutable, jaw-dropping evidence, I just was all in. But here's the thing. Mediumship is just one path to self-realization. It's my path. There are many other ways, and many of your guests and many of your listeners and viewers take different paths. But for me, it's a phenomenal path to coming to know that we are all souls, because you can't deny that this is soul to soul communication. Why do most people not even realize it's possible? Because we stay in our little human boxes. But once you learn how to shift the channel and communicate with non physical, sentient, creative, clever, humorous beings, you realize there's a lot more to this world. I'm not only human. So, what am I? And then you start living what I call the awakened way, and it changes everything. So this is so much more for me than mediumship. Mediumship is the path. I say, yes, I'm a medium, but the mysticism, the spiritual teaching aspect of that's my passion, because we can all open up to who we really are, and then the love pours in and the love pours out, and we're off and running.
Yeah, I mean, to be hearing from yourself, that we all have psychic abilities to some degree, fashion or the other, and to look into where you've come from, like you said. Yeah, just it's such an incredible journey and story that you've been on, and I really think just the context that you bring to the conversation is quite profound. Is quite profound. Talking about conversations, you've been traveling around recently. Wolf's message. Can you tell us who's
Yeah.
Wolf? What's Wolf's
Wolf
message?
is
When did you
a
first hear it? Can you bring us
yeah,
into your
yeah.
worldview?
Wolf is a young man who gave himself the nickname Wolf. His name is Mike Passacarnes, and he died exactly 15 years ago today. Today. Struck by lightning. Yeah, I got you on that one, didn't I? Look at you. You're speechless. It's divine timing that you let me share this with you, because I once, when I started down this path, was told by somebody, don't ever say you have proof of the afterlife. The skeptics will eat you alive. I listened to that for about a month, just cautious, until I realized I don't care what skeptics say. That's their path. I don't need to convince anybody. Here's the evidence. If you're open to this, wow, are you in for a beautiful ride? If you're not, I feel great compassion for how you're cutting yourself short of this amazing, loving connection this opens up. But I was giving a talk at a conference about the greater reality, and I told how my stepdaughter had been struck and killed by lightning, and a couple in the front row gripped each other's hands. And they came up to me afterwards and said, our son, Wolf, was killed by lightning. You're the first person we've heard who has somebody that died that way. And they were the first person I'd met. And then Wolf's dad, Mike, said, our son left a drawing and a poem that showed he knew he was going to be killed by lightning. And the drawing shows exactly where it was going to happen and what would happen on that spot afterwards. How could he know? Without seeing the drawing or the poem, I answered immediately, the soul knows. Sometimes that gets through our dense energy and we leave hints, but he didn't just leave a hint. In this documentary, Wolf's Message, which is online and at Gaia TV at wolfsmessage.com, we show the proof that we are souls, that his soul knew. The drawing shows the exact tree where he was struck. He went there on purpose. He got up from where he was eating and said to his friends, I have to go now. The last line of the poem said, it is time for the light of nature to free my soul. He walked to the tree. The storm clouds rolled in. One bolt of lightning in Plymouth, Massachusetts took him. Everybody in the town heard it. Not everybody, those who heard it and noticed it, but that was it. One bolt. When his parents finally got in his apartment, they saw the poem tacked to the wall. His dad had just been there 2 days prior. It wasn't there. He had cleaned his apartment. It was normally disaster central. He did all the dishes. He made the bed, which he never did. He put a chair in the center of the room facing that poem. And he cut out the front of his favorite T-shirt and tacked it to the wall across from the poem. What's on the front of the T-shirt? A lightning bolt. There's more to this, because what's in the picture at the base of the tree is what his parents did to honor him. It's in the picture he drew. So that in itself shows this young man, 29 years old, knew that was going to happen. So what? Well, the so what is because I was already a medium. He came to me 2 days before the reading I lined up for his parents. In the middle of the night, or early morning it was, 5:30, I remember it so clearly. And he gave me all this evidence about himself and cryptic clues that played out over the next couple months that I pieced all together, including his reading. Parts of that are in the documentary, Wolf's Message. And it was a message for all of us, Amrit. That's what Wolf's Message is. He came back. He left this proof so we would pay attention. He came back through me so we would pay attention, because the message is very important. It's very simple, too.
What is the message?
The message became the basis of the Awaken Way teaching. That's where my book, The Awaken Way, was born. It's 3 messages, really. We're not only human. We're part of one big web connecting all that is, and the documentary is full of those strands of the web. And love is the creative healing force of the universe. And basically, we are out of balance as a species. We're not in the heart. We're too much in the head. That's the way of putting it very simply. But when you can balance the two, when you can be logical, use that left brain, but also bring the right brain back online, tune into each other with the heart and the knowing that the soul is trying so hard to get through to us, that will change our world. And one by one, we're doing that.
It's really trippy to hear you share. Also, in terms of, to draw parallels, but between Susan's passing and Wolf's, obviously both of them struck by lightning, for you to even have that connection, like this, the synchronicities of that in terms of, you being able to connect it. Any interesting parts in terms of like your reflection on Susan's passing through understanding Wolf's passing?
Oh gosh, it's all part of this whole plan. I mean, the documentary is only an hour, and the first half is pretty much how I got to the point of being able to connect with him. And it shows Susan's passing and how we awaken to the greater reality. And the lightning is the thread, of course. It's what brought us together. And I just feel that we saw their deaths as tragedies. And here we are, 15 years to the date that Wolf passed. And Mike and Beth, his parents, are on camera. And Mike breaks down when he talks about the detectives coming and saying, "We found your son's body. He looks just like you." To us, when we got that phone call, we made that phone call and found out about Susan, you literally fall to the ground. Your legs go out from under you. And it is a horrible tragedy at the human level. And yet I know that Wolf and Susan are right here. I can sense them all the time. And they're just cheering. They're like, "We didn't die. We left early on purpose." So people will pay attention and realize it really is all about love and connection and rediscovering, remembering the souls who we are.
Hey there, Inspired Evolutionary. If you absolutely loved this, well then here's a full conversation with this guest on the Inspired Evolution podcast. Check it out now.